In this lesson, we're going to continue discussing how to write equations based on verbal directions. So basically trying to solve a word problem or set up a word problem. So what we want to do is we want to translate these sentences into an equation. And if we look at our first problem, we notice that it's a number b divided by 3 is 6 less than c. So let's identify the key words. We have divided and less than. And then here's this new word, is. We know what divided means. Is usually references equals. Less than, we know, usually references subtraction. So if we say a number b is divided by 3, it's b over 3. Let's start writing it that way instead of using the fourth grade division sign like this. Is references equals 6 less. So if I want to say 6 less, then I'm subtracting 6 from C. And there's our equation. The next, we talk about a perimeter of a square equals 4 times the length of a side. Equals is exactly what that is. That's the equal sign. So the perimeter, let's call that P, equals 4 times the length of a side. So 4 times means multiply, of course. And we'll call the length of a side L. And there we have it. Let's look at a few more examples. The difference, once again, that's our key word, of twice a number. There's another key word, twice. It usually means 2 times. Is, there's your equals again. So let's say the difference of twice a number, k. So here's 2k and 8. The difference, so we're subtracting, is, that's equals 12. Next, the sum of 12 and 8 times a number. So sum means add. And that number is k. There's our is again, referencing equals 48. So here's our next slide. I know that 15 more than z times 6 is y times 2 minus 11. Now, we need to be a little careful in this problem because we have 2 parts. First part comes before the is. Second part comes after the is. And the second part's the tricky part. Let's deal with the first part first. 15 more than z times 6. So 15 more means I'm adding 15 to z times 6. So that's 6z. I could go z6, but we usually put the multiple first. Is y times 2 minus 11. Now, notice this doesn't say y times the quantity of 2 minus 11. It's y times 2. So that's 2y minus 11. In the next problem, it says 3 less than a number w divided by 4. So here's the first part. There's my splitter is 7 more than 3 times b. So I have 3 less, subtract 3, then a number divided by 4. So here's my number w divided by 4. There's my is, and then I have 7 more than 3 times b. 7 more means I'm going to add 7 to 3 times b, or 3b. So now a little more word problem oriented type thing. We know a jelly bean manufacturer produces 1,235,000 jelly beans per hour, and we want to know how many hours does it take to produce 10 million jelly beans. Well, in this case, we have our rate right here. So every hour I take and I can either add 1,235,000 jelly beans to get my total jelly bean production, or I can say after 1 hour I have this many. After 2 hours I can multiply this number by 2. 3 hours multiply this number by 3. 4 hours multiply that number by 4, etc., 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 for as many hours as I produce. So what this says is it gives me a rate. Here's my number, 1,235,000. And if I multiply that by the number of hours, I'm going to call that H, I get the total number. And they're asking, when am I going to get 10 million jelly beans? Well, in this case, we finish writing this equation by saying 1,235,000 H, H being the number of hours, equals my total production of 10 million. And if we wanted to, we can do a little guessing and checking. How long would it take to multiply, or how many times does 1,235,000 go into 10 million? It's probably somewhere close to 8 is my guess, but we're not going to solve it. All right, so this problem's got a couple of steps to it. It says last time you and 3 friends went to a paintball park. You had a coupon for $10 off and you paid $17 for the 4 tickets. We want to know what's the regular price of the 4 tickets. That's the first part. And then if you pay regular price the next time you go, how much is it going to cost each person? So let's figure all this out. Start here. We know that we got $10 off and paid $17. So if I got $10 off, and here's the price, we say that the price minus 10 was equal to 17. Now I know that what number minus 10 is equal to 17? Price must have been 27. This is a little intuitive. So I know it costs $27 for 4 people. And that's the regular rate. So if I want the rate for each person, I'd have to take and divide 27 by 4. And this gets me the rate for each person at a regular rate. So if we take and divide 27 by 4, we're going to get 6 1/4. So this is the single person regular rate, which is what the problem was asking for. All right, that's a little bit of intuitive problem solving. We didn't really use any algebra except for maybe to write this first equation. Now in this problem, we're asked to write a one variable equation to represent the situation. It said Kate is twice as old as her sister Mara, and the sum of their ages is 24. We want to write an equation to say that. So let's do some identifying. We have Mara and Kate. And we want to describe each of their ages. And we don't know each. Typically in these type of problems, one age is going to reference another. And that other that is referenced, we have no information for. So if we look at the first sentence, Kate is twice as old as Mara, Kate is referencing Mara. So Mara is our total unknown. And typically if we have an unknown, we call that unknown X. So Mara is going to be X in this case. Now it says Kate is twice as old as that. So if I say twice as old as Mara's age, then I would say Kate is 2x, because twice means 2 times. And then it says the sum of their ages is 24. Well, I know Mara's age is X, Kate's age is 2X, and their sum is equal to 24. So I have one variable equation written to describe this situation. Next, we've done a couple problems very similar to this, but let's just go through it again. It says you've got a wireless phone company, bills on a monthly basis. Each bill includes this service fee, and that service fee gets you 100 minutes plus you also owe $2.95. Then they're going to up the charge if you go over 1,000 minutes. And that charge is going to be 5 cents for each minute over. And we're going to let M represent the number of minutes over 1,000 used during that monthly period. So let's go through that. We want to write the equation that describes the total cost P per month. So we know right off the bat we've got a $29.95 charge. $29.95, no matter what. Then we're also going to be charged $2.95. No matter what, because that's our tax fee. And then we've got an overcharge. So we've got an overcharge of 5 cents for every minute over 1,000 used, and M is going to represent the number of minutes over. So if I went 10 minutes over, I'd have to multiply 10 by 5 cents. If I went 100 minutes over, I'd have to multiply 100 times 5 cents. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to take our 5 cents and multiply that by the minutes over, and we're calling that M. And we can leave it like this, or we could combine like terms in this case. Notice these numbers have no M, so those are like terms. This is not a like term with anything else. So if I add $29.95 to $2.95, I'm going to get $32.90 plus 0.05 M will give me my total price.